Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Just wanted to say again, thank you so much for your kind words of support yesterday after I posted my own story on my Facebook page, and especially the importance of the mind-body connection. That's something that I think so many of us are walking around not realizing just how important that connection is. And if we are not mentally strong and have not healed underlying traumas and false beliefs, it's basically impossible for our bodies to follow suit and function properly. Our subconscious is so many times stronger than our conscious mind. So if there's anything in there that needs healing, it's definitely going to prevent us from being physically well. And actually, after I posted that yesterday, and it's happening a little bit right now, but I got pretty foggy and I got like tacky and stuff. And it just reminded me that I still have some work to do. Things can still be a little bit re-traumatizing, I guess. But it also got me thinking about the importance of inner child work, which was pretty much the very first step for me in trying to even unearth these traumas. I didn't feel safe to do it. And, my inner children, the younger versions of myself that experienced those terrible things as a young child, didn't trust anybody, didn't even trust my adult self. So it was hard to get them to let me remember. So it took a lot of talking to my inner children. And I did recently post separately from my blog posts. I posted on meghappens.com a resource page. So if you go to my homepage on meghappens.com and scroll down a little bit, there's a section that's now called Need Help Now. And that lists the links and the books and the self-help resources that were most helpful for me in my own healing journey. So they're all like laid out for you nice and neat right there in case you are in need of help during these times when you can't get out to see a therapist or anything like that. Also, I left out a few books. I'll probably add them to my list there, but this is pretty good. Wired for Healing by Annie Hopper. Very helpful for the physical side of things as well. Let's see, she has multiple chemical sensitivities, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, food sensitivities, post-traumatic stress, depression and anxiety, irritable bowel, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. They diagnosed me with that as well. And inflammatory conditions and other chronic illnesses. So many of these are really tied in, up here. Let's see, and then Choose Again, 6 Steps to Freedom, Diedrich Wolsack. I actually went to his center in Costa Rica a couple summers ago. I was a hot mess. And a few of you who met me there know what a hot mess I was. I've come a long way in less than 2 years. But again, Choose Again, 6 Steps to Freedom is a great one. So you might want to check that out. I'm going to add that to my resources on my page as well. And then again, Dr. Peter Levine was everything. His somatic experiencing therapy was super helpful. When I was so foggy during the beginning of my trauma healing, I was flashing back constantly. I couldn't even read a paragraph of a book. And my husband thankfully picked up Peter Levine's book, Waking the Tiger, which I had probably a dozen, trauma healing books laying there that I couldn't even get through. And thankfully I have a supportive husband who was able to help me get through Waking the Tiger, and we sort of applied it to me. Anyway, Dr. Peter Levine also, this is a bit more simplified than Waking the Tiger. This is Dr. Peter Levine's just plain old healing trauma. And all these you can get right on Amazon. So those are also a few really helpful ones. And you never know what you're going to read that's just going to resonate. I read everything I could get my hands on when I was clear-minded. And it sticks, it gets in there, the stuff that's meant to get in there, as long as you're open to guidance, you have an open mind. I think the last thing any of us want to believe is that our stuff can stem from psychological issues, but we have to remember also that trauma is not just psychological, it's very physiological. Your entire body, it's setting you up for for some serious physical problems. So there's no shame in admitting that your physical ailments might stem from, physiological or psychological trauma. And, if you want to heal, do what you got to do. And it's not easy, but it is so worth it. I just feel so blessed to even be here. I mean, I can't even describe it. What else did I want to tell you? So as far as the inner child stuff, I would go to my blog site, in addition to the resources page, and maybe scroll way down to the very bottom of my blogs. Start down there and work your way up. And 2 or 3 into my blogs, I think, is my main inner child article on how I was able to tap into my inner children and do that. John Bradshaw, if you want to check out his book, Homecoming, you can get that on Amazon, or check out some of his videos on YouTube, and he was on Oprah. She talks about his inner child work and stuff a lot. And I followed his reparenting advice, kind of like if you didn't get everything that you needed, whether it's because you were a child from a busy household. It doesn't have to be like some crazy abusive situation. The parents were not perfect, you know, but that doesn't mean that things aren't traumatizing for certain kids, especially sensitive children, you know. So if you were a kid and you weren't getting exactly what you needed for your stage in development, if your mom was busy and, you know, or if there was an abusive situation, whatever the situation, it's never too late, you know, to sort of reparent yourself. You can do that just by talking to your inner child, you know, invite your inner child, you know, out for a walk with you, or to color, you know, or to play with your kid with you. Nobody has to know if you don't want them to. But my husband and I got into it, you know, we got into it, and it was really healing just to recognize that there's a child in there that's hurting, you know, in all of us. And that child can be happy again. And that was really, again, such a huge part of my healing, was to, you know, I would actually like pretend I was rocking her. I'm gonna cry. Whew. But I know that mine, and I am going to post this. I'm not going to delete this, because this is life, right? My inner child had some major trust issues and some healing to do, and she needed me, you know. She needed me to rock her and talk to her and love her. And she's just so thankful that she has a voice now, you know, and yours needs a voice too if you want to heal. It's so worth it. There's nothing to be ashamed of, you know. Nothing to be ashamed of. So I would highly recommend looking into that. Wow, I should have worn waterproof mascara. I never know. I'm so emotional these days. Like, for the best reasons, you know. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. Let's see. Resources page, inner child, reparenting. Those few sources I had left out. And I guess that's it for today. Thank you again so much for your support. I hope you have a good one. I love you guys. Mwah.